And it's time again for that special show slash video slash cat interrupting activity. The Colin and Miles show. She's Colin.
He's Miles.
And here's our newest episode. Well, as we're sitting here today, we are being greeted, I might say, by,
Interrupted.
Interrupted, yeah.
One of our cats, Percy, which you may have seen on a previous episode, knocked the bag of cat treats off the counter, and it wasn't closed all the way, of course.
Oh, it wasn't?
No,
he's about to have a party.
He dropped some treats out.
Looks like he's going to have a party. So, anyways, welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. So we're going to begin this episode with some ranting so we can move on to the good stuff and get the, rants out of the way.
Go ahead and continue. I'm wanting to deal with this.
So, as usual, it seems like I'm the last to know everything. I used to be more in the loop. I don't know what's up. But anyway, I found out that the iCarly reboot was canceled last year. And I just found out about it recently. And so, because I was like, it should be coming back about now. Oh, no, it isn't, because it got canceled on a cliffhanger. And I feel like I hate when shows are just randomly canceled and it's on a cliffhanger. I feel like it should be an unwritten rule that shows just don't end on a cliffhanger unless they know they're coming back.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid rule. How many shows have we watched where they left it off at some cliffhanger? I think
so many.
I think one of the shows that they left as a cliffhanger for me back in the aughts was the 4400, which was a great show. And also Heroes. They kind of left that as a cliffhanger. So, but, it's too bad. Now with all streaming services, it seems like they could just, get a streaming service to say, hey, yeah, we'll make it.
Well, this was on a streaming service. That's a problem. They do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They act.
Well, they use the legacy mentality of corporatized media. So.
They act just like they're a network when they're not, and it's annoying. And also, I was going to mention real quick, then we'll move on. My mom will remember this. Beautiful People from ABC Family also ended on a cliffhanger when I was in high school, and we really liked that show.
Never saw it.
Well, we have the DVDs.
It doesn't surprise me.
Okay, so moving on to another show that has been canceled.
Oh, good. I didn't know that part.
I did. I told you that.
Well, I'm forgetful. And, as I like to say, you were born with two X chromosomes, me with an X and Y. So I'm missing a leg to a letter, so technically I'm retarded, so I can't remember everything. That's why she has such a good memory.
We both couldn't have the same chromosomes, okay? It just wouldn't work, so that's a cop-out, and I'm tired of hearing it.
No, that's just God acknowledging that, women are smarter.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, so Quantum Leap is canceled. I say yay, because Scott Bakula would be so disappointed. Well, I don't know if he's disappointed, but his character would be. And it is difficult to watch, but at the same time, I'm still wanting to watch it because it's intriguing, them going to the past and what was that other show, Timeless?
Yeah.
Another time travel show that they canceled. Oh, that was whenever you made the comment, they canceled time travel shows.
You don't have to talk for the whole segment.
Yeah.
I mean, I get to talk for the segment. This is just you introducing it.
I know that. I just was giving my point.
You're taking away something I was going to say, which was about Timeless and how I said the other night, it seems like NBC just doesn't know how to do it.
Oh, yeah, that was the added part, yeah.
Either it's too costly, like all the costumes and stuff in the past or different time periods, or they just don't. It just like takes too much effort. I don't know.
Well, it seems like now, so Tyler Perry was building out a $800 million studio soundstage, whatever. Yeah, but now he has canceled that build because of AI, and so it seems like they could incorporate AI into the cost and make it look good. But all that to say is, the DEI BS is so evident in this show, to the detriment of the character telling, connecting to the story. It doesn't make sense. I don't care about how you want to live your life. Is if there was some, dude dressed as a chick and they never talked about it, I'd be cool with that. That's just some spunky thing that individual does. But whenever they feed it and seed it into the narrative, like, oh, we got to pay attention, even though it has nothing to do with the storyline, it takes away from the show. All of that to say, I do like Ben. Is it Ben? I like him and his character. I like the actor. But all that to say, it is definitely not a show I'm going to watch again. In fact, if I do watch Quantum Leap, it'll be the old one to wash my eyes, mouths out with soap because it was so disgusting.
I just want to see. I didn't really care about it last season, and he was more excited about it. I just wanted to see where, the ending from last season, if they tie that up.
I doubt it, and I doubt that they find what's his face, Scott Bakula's character from the original.
Yeah, I
can't believe I'm drawing a freaking blank. Sam, yeah.
Something Beckett.
Dr. Beckett.
Is it?
Yeah, okay. Or Ken Beckett, whatever it is. Yeah.
So, moving on to my last topic for ranting, which is Talkville. You've heard Miles complain about this podcast, Talkville, that, talks about Smallville.
What do we have here?
And I always say he's being mean. Well, I feel like sometimes he should be recording me in the car. We should have those lipstick cameras in the car, because sometimes I get so angry and my reactions can't be replicated, and I wish someone would be recording me because it would be hilarious. So on one of the most recent episodes of this podcast, Michael Rosenbaum, we already had heard before that he doesn't like colorful cars. He thinks all cars should be red, black, white, silver, and maybe blue. And I'm thinking, well, why red in the first place? That's a bright color. Anyway, one of the last episodes, he's like, anyone who gets an orange or yellow car or truck, get out of my life. And I said, well, I don't want you in my life, Michael. We can't be friends. Not that we would be anyway.
Lex Luthor, however, the character you adequately portrayed in Smallville, I'd be friends with that guy.
Well,
but not this, calling up random chick actresses in the middle of a podcast and then some weird rabbit trail quest to get laid. It's just,
Well, my rant was just about the cars, and how can you not like colors on cars? And anyway, if you don't like them, oh well, you don't like them, but you don't have to be mean to the rest of us who do.
And the sad thing is we also listen to Office Ladies, and she got the book recently, and has been reading through it. But at the same time, listen to audiobook, which is kind of cool. But they continuously tap the creators. Is it Algo and Miles Miller?
Who? The Smallville one's Al. Oh, I thought it was Alcoff.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, Algie and Miles Miller, I think. They continuously call them at random times, like they're in a taxi, they're out to eat, they're doing some weird thing. So they have access to the creators of the show, yet they refuse to have any, creativity in developing the show, getting interesting tidbits so they can call, special moments and, how things occurred, get, like office ladies, they, get scripts, they, call people, hey, do you remember how we did this, X, Y, Z? There's so many elements that the office lady does that if they did an iota, a percent of what they did, heck, if they even invited, like a freaking assistant producer or just something of someone who was there to help them recall rather than bouncing off, hey, do you remember how we did this? I don't remember. Do you remember? No, I don't remember. Okay, next question. Because these people call in with decent questions that would be awesome if they could answer.
Well, yeah, and what's the point of doing a podcast where you were on the show and you don't know any answers to any questions?
Well, I'm just going to say...
You don't know the answers. Why would you do this podcast? You're just on there talking about the show, doing a play-by-play of the show in 5 minutes, basically.
And asking for supporters via Patreon. They're about, Michael, rather. I don't think Tom Welling so much so is about the attention and money. I think, more so Michael Rosenbaum is. And it's like, take a cue from the office ladies. I left a voicemail screaming at them during the first season.
Yeah, but you didn't know that they were so far ahead.
Yeah, no, that wasn't the point I was trying to make.
Okay.
Is I hope they remember that, because at some point I'm going to leave another screaming voicemail saying I've stuck with you because I appreciate the show, but my God, you guys are awful. Take a cue from the office ladies. Is Jenna Fisher, Angela Kinsey, feel free to talk to these morons. I'm sorry, not morons. Moron, Michael Rosenbaum, and help him out.
Okay. Rant over. Now on to some better things.
Young Sheldon had their finale. Series finale, which is, pretty good. I mean, if a spoiler alert, if you, watching the grieving process of a father dying,
But if you knew anything about this show, you would have known it was coming.
Yeah.
You would have watched The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, but still, it's like, you couldn't have thrown that gut punch earlier on in the season, because there were so many different things going on in this last season where they're taking it over to Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. Like, what a terrible name for a show. But besides that, is the entire season you're setting it up, and this is young Sheldon, not young George and Mandy before their series premiere, and I would much rather know about, the intricacies around Sheldon. But they left it towards, the end of the second to last episode. Oh, George is dead.
Well, I like that they did it that way. I thought everything ended fine.
I agree.
I was hoping we could just get him dying altogether. But at least if he had to die, it was at the end, not the whole season without him. I didn't really want that.
Yeah, I thought that they did a very good job of tying it up and setting it up for what I am hopeful is an entertaining series. George and Mandy's
first marriage.
Dumbest movie or dumbest show title ever. Anyways, so
if you haven't seen Young Sheldon, you should watch it. And it made me laugh, and I'm rewatching it now, and I'm almost through with it because it's just lighthearted and funny.
Indeed. Next,
we have another finale to talk about, but not a series finale, a season finale. Tracker had a season 1 finale.
It's like Tracker and these handful of shows have the same casting pool that they pull from. Once Upon a Time. Smallville.
We have to talk about that. Yes.
And,
we have to talk about the Tracker.
There are all of these people who keep showing up, and I'm just waiting until next season when there's a big 3 This Is Us reunion.
Maybe. Okay. So, Tracker, we've talked about on here before when we had first started watching it. So, now that we're done with the first season, I think I'm still it's not something I'm oh, I'm so excited to watch it, but it's interesting. And one thing we should say is that the last one of the last couple episodes, they brought in Coulter's big brother, who was played by Jensen Ackles, who was Dean in Supernatural, and we've been saying that this show is.
And he was.
Like Dean?
And he was.
On Smallville. Wait. Oh, yeah, he was on Smallville. Yes. Before he was on Supernatural.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yes. And so that was funny. And then they brought somebody from Manifest.
Oh, wow. I just going to comment on that before I forget this. He was on, Talkville's on the season right now where Jensen Ackles is there. And he's being written off the show because he got the role in Supernatural. Well, I guess it makes it to where the episodes, less so than normal, Michael Rosenbaum doesn't want to, pay attention to. But nonetheless, you shouldn't let Jensen Ackles, you shouldn't let his being a better actor than you dissuade you from producing a good show now. Anyways.
Okay. I don't get that vibe, but okay. Back to Tracker, they brought another an actor from Manifest. I forgot her name, but
she was Ben Stone's sister.
She played Michaela. I don't know her real name.
Michaela Stone. Oh.
It's like Roxanne something or.
Don't worry, we'll figure it out. But
anyway, they brought her as Coulter's sister, and coincidentally, she was also in an episode of Quantum Leap too. So she was just everywhere after Manifest was over. And then, was there somebody else that they brought? Or was that it? Were those the two people? Played by Melissa
Roxburgh.
Okay, so there was a rock somewhere. Melissa Roxburgh. Was those the only two people that were on Tracker recently?
Well, Emma from Once Upon a Time.
Oh, and Jennifer Morrison from Once Upon a Time and This Is Us.
There's going to be a This Is Us reunion.
She was Kevin's romantic interest for a while, and now she was Coulter's friend. I mean, Coulter played Kevin on This Is Us. Anyway.
I really want Milo Ventimiglia to have another show because him in Heroes was amazing. Him in This Is Us was amazing.
Gilmore Girls.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Jess. He needs another show, and this time it should be an action show. An action sci-fi show.
And maybe without the mustache.
Okay.
But, okay. So if you haven't seen Tracker, check it out. We would recommend it. Now, moving on to another finale.
A series finale that I'm glad is over. Similar to, Quantum Leap being canceled. This one was tied up. But, again, another show written with DEI for no reason, and it's Discovery, Star Trek Discovery. And that's not to say Star Trek hasn't pushed the bounds of, progressive mentality, not necessarily conservative or liberal. It's just in TNG, they tackled political issues, politically charged issues, gay rights, things that, there was an underlying message, of love and acceptance and, of being okay with how someone else wants to be and, just letting people live their life. But like Quantum Leap, they take it to the whole in-your-face level and, it's an unnecessary part of Discovery. The action sequence, the writing for this last season, I think was downhill significantly. But 2 seasons ago, it was spot on.
Am I allowed to argue with you about any of these things?
Sure.
Well, not argue, but I don't agree with most of the things that you just said.
Okay.
I think this season was better than a lot of them. I enjoyed it more. I didn't like season 3 because it was like a lot of this action stuff and I got lost.
Yeah.
You like action stuff, so you can say, oh, that was better, but you can't just unequivocally say, oh, the writing was on par as compared to this season. And I don't think that all the things that you're saying, I think that they did a much better job of just letting people be who they are, unlike Quantum Leap, when I agree that sometimes they are just letting that lead the story. But I think you just didn't like it, and so you're saying, "Oh, it was in my face."
Yeah, okay.
But I think they did a great job of integrating things that are in our day and age. Just because we don't like them,
no.
doesn't mean
that's not what I'm saying. Specifically, I'm saying is regardless if it was on Discovery or the Enterprise D. What is a chief medical officer doing in the middle of battle in engineering, talking to their lover? Wow. Regardless of, sex. It's like Beverly Crusher was dating Geordie LaForge and, they were under attack and there's casualties piling up. I'm pretty sure a chief medical officer's place is in sickbay.
Well, one thing, okay, fine. I'll give you that, but I'm sure if we went back to TNG, there are multiple times where possibly Dr. Crusher is somewhere that she's not supposed to be because she's, worried about Wesley and things like that. And I'm sure there are other...
yeah, I'm sure there are.
So you're pointing out one tiny thing, and that character was pretty lost this whole season because of that interaction with...
Yeah,
the ancient sign, or the
trope.
What was it? A trope?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the scientists. Yeah.
Yeah, but regardless, that's just my rant over it. But anyways, the ending was peaceful, nice.
Yeah, I don't think we needed it, but
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
It's because they found out, or they. I don't know. I read, they wanted to have,
Go on.
They wanted to have a nice ending to tie everything up, and so they got, some extra time to do that, and I don't know.
Yeah. It was an interesting plot the last season, the progenitors tech, but, there's just... One thing that I liked about Strange New Worlds with the musical episode, they explained the science away. They made it make sense. The beginning of the season started out with Captain Michael Burnham on top of a ship at warp in her spacesuit. Okay, I'll accept that it's the 31st century or 30th century, whatever.
Yeah.
But you gotta qualify the science just a little for me. Because, even the particle generators, that makes sense because they qualify the science. Not so much her standing on a ship at warp.
Yeah.
So.
And they tied up that short track.
Oh, yeah, the one from the future, yeah.
And a lot of people on the internet were like, I say the internet, I guess places I read people's comments.
Don't get caught in comments.
It was too easy, blah blah blah, whatever. But it didn't make sense. But it was okay that they explained it. It was it was a red directives, it was classified.
Oh.
And I could suspend disbelief.
Yeah.
Or use my imagination or whatever.
Okay.
Moving on to a short topic, just one random show that we're watching.
We are barreling through.
Because we like it so much.
It's fantastic. Modern Family. If you haven't seen this show, it is, 3 related families, and it's just fantastic. I would strongly recommend it. If you liked Al Bundy in Married with Children, Ed O'Neill, who plays Al Bundy, is in this show, and he is awesome. You also have Sofia Vergara, who plays his much younger wife. And anyways, it ran from, 09 to 20?
I was looking it up. Yeah, 09 to 20.
So Excellent show. Highly recommend it. You should watch it.
Yes.
So, we also recently went to a
I
movie.
didn't get to say anything
Oh,
about
sorry.
it. I just
Go on.
introduced it. You're not letting me talk very much.
Go on.
Okay. Well, it's annoying. I like Modern Family because we caught it on TV a few times, and I'm like, this is hilarious. And there aren't a lot of shows that just make me laugh. Like, really, there are very few.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I want to see this whole show, and it makes me laugh all the time. So
It's very funny.
yeah. All right.
Now, we recently we recently saw 2 movies, and the movie we're going to talk about was in a much, much better theater than, AMC, because I hadn't been to AMC in a while, and we went there for a pre-screen, and needless to say, because those seats were so uncomfortable. So we saw If, the John Krasinski created film, and it was good. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. It's like if Percy was our imaginary friend here, he would be a great imaginary friend. But it was...
I know what to say about it.
What?
I told you afterwards this movie was emotionally taxing.
Oh, yeah. She started crying, I guess, and I didn't notice it. Don't worry about it.
Well, I was trying to secretly cry because it was just, it wasn't sad, it was more like happy, but it was making me like miss being a kid, and I was sad I'm an adult. But this whole movie made me think, oh, we can always go back to that. We can always remember what it was like to be a kid, and we don't have to be like stuffy adult.
Yeah.
And we can always, have an imaginary friend or whatever,
Yeah. So, it was a good movie. I'd recommend it. It's not something that I'm going to go watch. But, it had good comedy, and it seemed like a family-friendly movie. Is that all? You're not going to talk about the 100-arm challenge?
No, I didn't think we had time.
Well, we always have time.
Fine. If any of you have watched our shows, like all of them, you'll remember a long time ago I used to talk about fitness challenges that I was participating in.
Mm-hmm.
And so last month I found on Blogilates website, Cassie had a printable of a 100 arm challenge, and I've done the 100 ab challenge a couple times. I've done the 100 butt challenge, glute challenge 100 times, or not 100, 2 times. But I was like, oh, 100 arm challenge, I'll try this. And I accomplished it. And I did 100 push-ups in one day, not all at one time, because I would do like 10 and take a little break, and then do 10 and then take a little break. But it was all like in a 20-minute period.
Hooray!
So, yay!
Yeah. Well, speaking of activities that we've done recently, there was a Disney dance where Colin and I went as Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh.
This was square dancing, by the way.
Yeah.
If you didn't know.
So she was clearly Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
Because I'm always after her, honey. But anyway, does that about wrap it up?
Yep, that was a big information download. And maybe we'll do this again soon, but we're also recording a podcast that, yes, we're not.
You ought to watch this movie. Check it out.
We're not saying we're professionals, so we're not.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, you ought to watch
this movie. Get it now. Subscribe, download, share, and be our friends by watching or listening to Yadam and watching this.
And you can also watch the podcast
on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes. Show, Facebook and YouTube.
So where you're watching it here. Anyways, until next time, I'm Miles.
I'm Colin.
And have a great day.